Have you heard the news? Sheila Johnson, the owner of the Washington Mystics, has been completely discredited by Ben Shapiro for her perplexing comments regarding Caitlin Clark.
So one of the bizarre controversies of the last week is Caitlin Clark, who is the WNBA's only nameable star. Here, for example, is WNBA team owner Sheila Johnson. Here she is, ripping Caitlin Clark and the fan base for liking Caitlin Clark, saying it's only because Caitlin Clark is white.
In a move that resembles the Olympic gold medal in poor takes. That's correct. Sheila said that Clark didn't deserve to win Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year award since, ostensibly, every WNBA player should be honored, with the exception of Caitlin Clark.
Why couldn't they have put the whole WNBA on that cover and said the WNBA is the league of the year because of all the talent that we have? Because when you just keep singling out one player, it creates hard feelings. And so now you're starting to hear stories of racism within the WNBA, and I don't want to hear that. We have got to operate and become stronger as a league and respect everybody that's playing.
Yes, you heard correctly. Everyone receives a boost of energy, but it's like steroids. In his recognizable rapid-fire delivery, Shapiro quickly dismantled Johnson's case by highlighting its obvious ridiculousness.
You're not putting the entire WNBA on the cover because not everybody can fit, and nobody knows who any of those people are. By the way, 31% apparently of the entire Washington Mystics ticket sales this year came in 2 games. I will give you a guess as to which player was featured in those 2 games.
That's right. As for the upliftment, 31% of Washington Mystics' annual revenue comes from playing for Caitlin Clark and her team, so they are simply expected to overlook the fact that Caitlin Clark is reviving an entire league that is struggling for relevance. Not everyone can fit inside the frame, and definitely not the entire WNBA.
Look, I'm going to be completely honest about this. I thought what Wizards owner Sheila Johnson said about Caitlin Clark came off as racist. Sheila Johnson is the black billionaire owner of the NHL's Washington Capitals, the NBA's Washington Wizards, and the WNBA's Washington Mystics. Johnson said she did not agree with Time Magazine making Caitlin Clark the first ever WNBA player to be Athlete of the Year.
Whether you believe it or not, Sheila's implication that Clark's success is somehow unjust to the other players in the league is blatantly racist.
And with putting Caitlin Clark on the cover. Johnson said the entire WNBA should have been chosen as the League of the Year and that numerous stars should have been put on the cover. She said the WNBA has a long legacy of black stars and that, and I quote, "Something clicked with the WNBA last year because of the draft. It's not just Caitlin Clark, it's Reese." As in, of course, Chicago's Angel Reese.
Are you joking with me? Given that Angel lacks Caitlin Clark's popularity and skill set, why is Sheila so intent on undermining Clark's achievements?
Johnson said, and I quote, "There's so much talent out there that's unrecognized, and I don't think we can pin it on just one player. When you single out one, it creates hard feelings," end of quote. Johnson said, "What's been happening to black players on social media," and I quote, "has got to stop," in that, and I quote again, "this division of racism is going to tear us apart," end quote.
So, will we cease giving a player praise merely because other people are jealous? This is known as unjust treatment, isn't it? Sheila Johnson exhibits hypocrisy.
Johnson is saying to me, the majority of WNBA players are black and have always been black, that basketball belongs more to black players than to white, and that it's not healthy for the league to have a white player featured as Athlete of the Year on the cover of Time. Now, I'm pretty sure if WNBA MVP Asia Wilson had made the cover of Time as Athlete of the Year, Johnson wouldn't have had any problem with that. Just not the white girl.
That's absolutely true. She is implying that we start to be picky about who we compliment and consider a person's skin tone before valuing her skills, which is absurd on many levels.
But this person put this on as a quote to this video. Sheila Johnson's worth $850 million, and she doesn't put a penny back into the neighborhood she comes from. Very interesting. She doesn't even come back to her high school to show little black girls that they can become her. My little cousins go to the same high school. They don't even know she exists. Very interesting indeed.
Did you hear that Sheila appears to be guilty of the same thing she is attempting to do to Caitlin Clark? That's correct. Folks, this is the epitome of hypocrisy. Sheila allegedly doesn't give to charities or inspire the black children in her community to become billionaires like herself.
Well, the league has always been woke, has always had an agenda. The league and the sports media, the establishment sports media that is, and their surrogates. Always. And they pride themselves on that.
Whether you like it or not, the WNBA is fundamentally a politically charged organization, which is why such polarizing politics are taking place.
Well, since Caitlin Clark stepped into the waters with the Time magazine interview, it's almost like you're gonna see more people, more comments, more demands. You're gonna see it's gonna be less and less about basketball, what you want to see, and it's gonna be a whole lot of this stuff because it's like she ripped off another layer of the onion, and this one is a big one. And so now people feel like they can just go all in with it.
Sheila, like many so-called woke individuals, feels that Caitlin Clark is putting forth extra effort in front of them and not striving for her success, which is precisely why she is speaking out against her.
But this, of course, is the Mystics owner that said that Caitlin Clark should give up her Time magazine award and give it to the entire WNBA. Of course, that has now become a running joke, and the mother of all community checks came down here and nailed her. 31% of Mystics' total home attendance for the 2024 season came from the 2 games versus Caitlin Clark and the Fever.
News flash: arguing Clark doesn't deserve to be singled out is akin to arguing LeBron James should share his honors with the benchwarmers because, well, that isn't how greatness works. Sheila Sports thrives on competition rather than equality of outcome.
It's important that we say, you know what? You want to go all in? You want to go in, people with a lot of nonsense? Then guess what? We're going to go in too, and we're going to expose the nonsense.
That's right. Speaking up becomes more of a duty than a choice because many of these racists thrive on action or a lack of pushback.
For what it is. A lot of times, like you, we just want to let's just play basketball. But then when they start saying nonsense, like when the owner of a WNBA team, Sheila Johnson, Washington Mystics, when she says some of the stuff like she said that people are talking about today, it's like, okay, you want to play hardball? Then let's play.
The stats support the fact that Caitlin Clark is a statistical powerhouse and a cultural phenomenon. She is not simply good, she is the best.
Well, that skinny white girl was the best thing that ever happened to the WNBA. She's already the most exciting and entertaining player in the league, the entire league, the one you can't take your eyes off of.
Because fans were eager to watch middle-of-the-road players, the league did not notice an increase in viewing. Instead, they tuned in for her.
Yet not once did Caitlin Clark complain about the bullying or the cheap shotting. Not once did she say anything but the right thing about how black stars had built this league. The skinny white girl detonated all that. Yes, she brought a lot more white people through the turnstiles, but surely Sheila Johnson doesn't care what color her customers are, does she?
Sheila's ridiculous and disgusting remarks about Caitlin Clark appear to be having her roasted left, right, and center. And now it's Skip This's turn.
Ready for the ultimate irony about what Sheila Johnson said about Caitlin Clark? Last season, for Caitlin Clark's 2 visits to Washington, the Mystics moved the games from their little home arena, which seats a little under 5,000, to the Wizards arena, which officially seats 20,356. And thanks to Caitlin Clark, Sheila Johnson's Mystics drew the WNBA's biggest crowd of the year and the WNBA's 3rd biggest crowd of the year.
That's right. Skip is giving Sheila the benefit of the doubt by revealing her devious methods that favor Caitlin and failing to give her credit in return.
Oh, we saw Sheila Johnson the odd, weird, whatever you want to call, very rich because, well, she married well, divorced him, and then started stooping the divorce judge with her $500 haircut, her necklaces, her pantsuit. Oh, my God. Talking about how Caitlin Clark shouldn't have been on the cover of Time magazine, should have been the whole league.
Sheila Johnson's lack of gratitude is evident here, although Clark has improved the league as a whole, including Sheila's squad.
I am a big fan of Sheila Johnson. I know Sheila very well. She is a great role model, leader, owner, a terrific, successful, wonderful person. I have no idea why she said what she said. It is of course, the player, the athlete of the year, and it's not the league of the year or the team of the year. Caitlin Clark deserves that.
That's right. Clark is deserving of all the attention and praise she has been receiving.
The ownership of the WNBA, the commissioner of the WNBA said, look, let's help these ladies out. Let's give them a place to play. So it's the worst business decision ever. If you watch Yellowstone, selling the land for $1.25 per acre, not a great land deal. Where the worst business deal in the history of business deals is the NBA supporting the WNBA. That's who made the league. The women, the African-American or white, doesn't matter. Women of the WNBA didn't make shit. Nothing. Zip. Zero. And Sheila Johnson knows that.
Sheila had the gall to claim that the WNBA is full of talented players, but that people don't buy it. Really, if that's the case, why is the league losing money each year?
But see, women never like to see other women in sports succeed. My wife said that very clearly. And all we do is see that the level of jealousy. What about me? Think about me. You know, I've said all along, Caitlin Clark's got to be Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Tiger Woods, and name a white guy, I don't know, Joe Namath, all wrapped into one.
Women don't want to see other women thrive, and Sheila Johnson's hatred of Clark's accomplishment is a perfect example of this.
And then a woman like Sheila Johnson has the audacity, as Christine Brennan just pointed out, the audacity to question Caitlin Clark when, in fact, Sheila Johnson had to move games. 4,000 to 20,000. Think of the money Caitlin Clark made Sheila Johnson. They only came in there twice, but she was 31%. 31%, damn near a third of all the attendance that the Mystics had the entire year. What exactly did the women of the Mystics build?
Oh no, Miss Johnson. That question must hurt, but it is legitimate. If Clark is providing a third of Sheila's team's revenue, what did Sheila and her team accomplish?
I'll hang up and listen. What exactly did Sheila Johnson and whatever woman plays for the Mystics, what exactly did they build? A league that was handed money to play in a 4,000-seat arena? Oh, just stop the stupid. Just stop the incredible stupid.
Here's the thing. The WNBA is a financial mess that is kept afloat by goodwill and the NBA's deep pockets. But Clark was able to create something that the league hasn't been able to do for decades. Create real enthusiasm. The NBA subsidizes the WNBA to the tune of tens of millions every year.
Sheila Johnson should, I don't know, at least send Caitlin some flowers, because she never gives her any flowers in interviews for sure. But no way should Caitlin Clark and Caitlin Clark alone be on the cover of Time, or so Sheila indicated, and I say baloney to that. Sheila Johnson and every WNBA star should thank God every morning and every night for Caitlin Clark.
Clark is a game changer. Her first season was nothing short of spectacular, but rather than recognizing her as the league's beacon of hope, Johnson chose to minimize her accomplishments in favor of what amounted to a misplaced sense of participation medals.
Now, to Sheila Johnson's point about Angel Reese, yes, Angel also had all-time rookie impact, but a little more off the court than on it. Angel has far more social media and interview charisma than Caitlin does. Caitlin has a nice but pretty boring off-court persona, in part because Caitlin tries so hard to avoid that slightest shred of controversy.
That's right. Even if Angel has a higher rebound record, let's face it, people aren't purchasing tickets because of Angel's rebounds. Her fame is primarily off the court and as a result of unpleasant controversies.
Angel did lead the league in rebounds per game. That is quite a feat for a rookie. but I'm not sure anyone buys a ticket to watch rebounding.
The WBA's continuous identity dilemma is what this dispute brings to light. The league wants to become more well-known and profitable, but destroying your best players won't help you reach those objectives. Clark's accomplishment ought to be celebrated. A call to action for both players and supporters, but instead it has been greeted with needless suspicion and animosity.
Caitlin Clark sells, albeit to lots of new white fans. And I have no doubt some of those new white fans have some anti-black feelings, or maybe even they're just flat out racist. Yet Caitlin Clark did not encourage or influence them to be that way by anything she ever said or did.
In the end, Caitlin Clark's talent speaks for itself. She didn't ask to be named Athlete of the Year. She earned it. Rather than disparaging her or bringing her down, the WNBA should do everything in their power to support her. As for Ben Shapiro, whether you like him or not, he's right about this one. His criticism of Clark isn't just unjustified. It's a diversion from the true problems facing the WNBA. If the league wants to survive, it needs more Caitlin Clarks and a lot fewer Sheila Johnsons. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.